All right, got this camera finally working. All right, welcome back. I finally got my video working. You guys can actually see my face. All right, so basically, what's been going on? Because I have not been posting to this trading channel. Okay, so basically, what happened was I really had to figure out something, a more simplified strategy with NAS. My strategy was a little bit too complex with NAS because I'm realizing that I haven't been trading NAS 100 within a year yet, 1 calendar year. So throughout the year, typically pairs they couldn't move differently. And the thing is with NAS is very sensitive to like the Iran war and different things that's been happening, and NAS moves different at different times. So what I had to do is I pretty much I have the same strategy, and I did make an adjustment, but for the past 2 weeks, I've really have been I've had to sit on my hands a lot dealing with the strategy, and I've been pretty much just really kind of working to really try to figure out something else, something new. Within that process, I did lose, but I didn't post it to this channel because I really want this channel to be an education channel. And I understand that somebody may watch that and be like, okay, he won, let me try this. But that's not like a set strategy that's well back tested with data. So what I have figured out, and I did win today, what I figured out is I figured out a more simplified approach to NAS 100. So basically, if I turn on trading sessions and I look today on the 1 minute, I'm a 1 minute trader. And I think a lot of people would be a 1 minute trader with Nasdaq 100 because um, it can be expensive if you're trading live funds. Okay, so basically, what I used to do with NAS is I used to have these little lines and I'd say, okay, I'm looking for a price to react to this line. Not only am I looking for a rejection candle, I'm also looking for an engulfing candle. Not only am I looking for an engulfing candle, I also need to see price come back and that's dude, you're asking a lot. And at the end of the day, you expect NAS to actually, ask a lot and still give you profits. So basically the strategy is this, right? This right here is clearly a zone that price comes and we sell. When we get to the zone, I'm looking for an engulfing candle to the sell side. So this right here could be an entry, put my stop loss above here, not necessarily above this candle, but above the last swing low, like clearly where price rejects. And if you see, if I would have did that, right, after this big old rejection candle, right, if I would have did that, put my stop loss here, you see here, and just go for a nice 1 to 2, right? And then that's profits. Okay. So that's the new strategy. It's the still same strategy. I'm still doing support and resistance. I'm still doing supply and demand, but I'm still looking at market structure and I'm looking at like candlesticks and how they react, price action. Um, okay, look at here. You see price, a clear trend. Every time price hit this pretty much line, we bounce. So what do we see? We see a break of the trend line. Once the price broke the trend line, once we broke, we return back to this supply zone, got an engulfing candle, market execute. Simple strategy. And I back tested this and I'm like, this is the way to go. And I'm doing a 1 to 2, not a 1 to 1 anymore, because let's say, for example, if price would have took me out here, but it would have wicked, and then I got another engulfing, right? Because this is what I noticed about the characteristics of NAS and how NAS moves. NAS will let you know which direction is going. However, on market open, sometimes what NAS will do, let me go back, I think it was yesterday. I think it was yesterday. And this is really what it's about, man. This is really what being a profitable trader is about. It's about how do you respond when you're on a loser streak? How do you respond when you're on a winning streak? How do you maintain your emotions, your discipline, your ego, your pride, right? Your patience. All of that is going to be challenged. And sometimes, a lot of times, depending on which pair you're trading, you have to adjust. You're not completely 100% changing strategy here, but there needs to be an adjustment, right? So say, for example, right, this right here, I got a couple touches every time price come here. every time price come here, we pretty much bounce. Boom, there we go. So market open, boom, right? So price came down. When you look here, typically we expect price to return to this zone and pretty much go up, which we are rejecting, which is nice. So that's a confluence. So also price, this trend line, price came, we came down here and you start to see we reject. Okay. So what do we see here? We see price made what? Price made a low, made a higher high, a lower low, then boom. All this was is a take of liquidity. Because if price really wanted to go down, it would just touch here and just keep going down, right? But what ended up happening, price shot up here. We just made a higher high. So now at this point, we're pretty much going to retrace. It looks like NAS is now shooting down. Okay. So like say if I'm looking at this and I do get into a short thinking that price is going to go down, right? And let's say if I was thinking that and I got into it, or I actually would have made money. Okay, so let's say if I did, okay, so boom, let's do this. Let's say boom. Let's say if this happens, right? So what I do is the amount of money that I'm looking to like lose per day, I pretty much say, okay, I'm gonna divide into two. If NAS gives me one direction and I lose, then I know typically with NAS, the other direction is the direction for the duration of the rest of the trading session. If it's not, then we're in consolidation. Do not trade in consolidation. That's a no trade day. So once something like this happens, okay, we came down here and we broke back up. We just made a higher high. We just broke this zone. We broke this zone, right? We're making a higher high. So once something like this happens, all right, what I'm gonna start doing is I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna wait for this candle to close a little bit. So let's say, for example, once we like here, I really wouldn't wait for the candle to close too much. Once we're moving velocity, like right around here, and this is my second trade, I'm gonna go ahead, give me like a 40, give me like boom. This is 20, about 25 point stop loss. All right, there's like a level right here. So what I'm gonna start doing, let me go. I'm still using my supply and demand on the different indicators. So here, I'm gonna say, okay, this is the next zone typically if price comes. And then what? TP hit. Okay. So what I started doing is I started to go and I say, okay, let's just back test this thing. And this strategy is a good in between because the summer months, NAS was doing a little bit, I was on a roll, is really respecting. But I noticed soon as August hit, right before June and July is moving the same way, which is up. Like it's crazy. Like NAS will literally go up, will not make a retracement, and just keep burning. So I'm like, all right, I need to adjust like my strategy. All right. Like, look at this. It's crazy. It's like there's no pullback on a major time frame, right? So let's come here and give me a date. So let's just back test for the last 2 weeks. Let's say the 5th at 9:30 on a Wednesday. 5th, 9:30 on a Wednesday. Boom. All right, so I'm looking at price. Price clearly is bullish. We just made a higher high. So I'm expecting this to pretty much continue. So here's a zone here. Every time we get to the zone, it looks like we've sold. So I'm waiting for the price to get here, and I'm waiting to get a engulfing candle to the downside. Other than that, let's see what happens. Okay, price came, We touch the zone, we reject it. The same as here and here. So at this point, we got a rejection candle, but we didn't get an engulfing candle. And that's one thing I am going to demand from NAS. I want a rejection candle. I'm not going to get in off this candle, because what can happen is that, right? My rejection candle, there it is. So at this point in time, what I would do is I would go short. I'll put my stop loss here. Now give me a 1 to 2. That's what I want. I want a 1 to 2. 1 to 2 minimum. Let's see how it plays out. Okay, I lose. I lost my first trade. So now it looks like we're going to go higher. See what NAS does? We don't pull back. Okay, I got one more trade in me. Guess what? This red candle just got engulfed, and we got a rejection candle, and we're making an eye. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go long at this point. I'm going to put my stop loss above this area of like resist support now. It's about 36 points. Let me zoom out, see if I can get another area. I say right here. So I'll mark that off. Boom. Go back to the 1 minute. Reset. Boom. So, okay, this is my second trade. I've lost one. If I get a 1 to 1, I break even. So I don't want to break even. I want a 1 to 2 so I can have some profit on the day. Boom. And this is how NAS does. We fake to the downside. Now NAS has revealed its true objective, which is the what? Oh, I lost. So at that point, I got a loss on the day, 2 losses. Okay, I've pretty much exhausted my amount of money that I want to lose on the day. That's it. I'm done. Okay. So at this point in time, let's see what kind of day NAS is gonna have. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That's ugly, bro. That's an ugly day. I don't want to trade that no damn ways. So that's a loss, right? And that's what I'm realizing is just trade the strategy. Over time, you'll be profitable if you keep trading strategy. And that's what I'm gonna do with NAS. So that's, I don't even know what day this is. This is Wednesday, August 5th. So August 6th. The next day, let's say, okay, I lost that day. Let's return to the next day at 9:30. All right. So I'm looking at it. We're pretty much in a downtrend. This little trend line here, every time price is pretty much hitting here, we're pretty much reversing. I do think price is looking to kind of like retest here, then keep going down. So let's see what happens. All right, boom, there it is. It looks like we're going to go down on NAS. If I look at data to the left on the 1 minute, we do have a large gap that we're trying to fill, which is right around here. We're looking for this is where price came and went up. So maybe we hit here and go up, maybe we hit here and go up, maybe we hit here and go up. But for the most part, we have filled this gap pretty much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. I'm not going to trade. Well, let me see. Let me see how this look. All right. It's pretty good. And live action, live price action. I wouldn't have waited till this candle finished. Once I seen this wick here, and once I seen this start to wick, and we broke this candle, for real though, I would have went ahead and got in. I would have got in like right here. Once we broke that candle, I would have got in. Boom. That's good enough for me. Let's see what happens. Boom. TP hit. Know what I'm saying? I lost previous day. Boom. I won. Now, a lot of time what NAS does is it goes one way and then it will reveal its true identity. Watch this. Boom. We just broke the trend line. Look at that. And so this is me just learning the characteristics and temperament of NAS. Once I'm dialed in with NAS, and I've been able to really backtest and really get a lot of data for like one calendar year. Like you got to think about it, right? NAS, the United States of America is in confrontation with Iran. You got President Trump all over the place. Every time Trump will pretty much make a tweet, a tech or whatever, market moves by like hundred of points. Not only this, which is I don't know how in the world this is even illegal. Trump is actually coming out with an API service that will allow you access to know when he tweets whatever. We're not even talking about insider trading. This guy's crazy. So let's say, for example, I just got a 1 or 2. I'm done for the day. I'm off the charts. But let's say if I did lose, whatever, for whatever reason, I got a late entry and I lost. NAS is pretty much just broke a trend line. Check this out. What I'll do at this point, I'm going long here. All right. And this is a 54-point stop. Price does like to come and retest the trend line. Based off how these candles were moving, if we're moving with velocity, then it's like, okay, I'm gonna put my stop loss like right here. Boom. Let's see what happens. Boom. It was a win. I brought my stop loss up. I do, maybe I should have. That's a lesson learned. Just keep the stop loss like down close to the trend line. I still won though. So this strategy is a more simplified version of what I was doing that fits this pair NAS 100 like a glove. That allowed me to be profitable over a period of time. Because what I started noticing is I'm like, all right, for the past 2 weeks, I haven't really gotten too many setups. Like say for example, what I used to do is I used to do this, bro. I used to be like, all right, here's these zones. I used to I used to mark out these zones. And then this is very labor intensive. And I'm just like, all right. But what happened was once we got up here, I had no data to the left. And I was just like, bro, this is kind of getting crazy. So look at these zones, right? That I marked up. Okay. Look at this zone. I got no rejection candle. I can't even look at this. I got an engulfing candle, but no rejection candle. But yet NAS goes up, right? Look at this. No pullback. It just goes up. So what I started noticing is that strategy is a better strategy, right? Because that strategy for June and July was very seasonal. I want an evergreen strategy for NAS 100. So what I realized is, okay, the NAS, it'll go one way and it'll just keep going. Or NAS will go one way, turn around and go the other way. It keep going. And if NAS don't do that, we're consolidation, no trade day. Simple strategy, bro. Straight profits over the long run. So when you look and see what happened, NAS went one way. I was able to get enough profits. Boom, let's go. Went the other way. Profits if I would have lost. There it is. That's the strategy. A lot of data. Like, look at this, bro. Or girls. I don't know who's ever watching this YouTube channel. This is my trading journal. Look at this. All right. This is my trading journal. This is my activity I try to abide by. I used to do sports, so a lot of activity outside of prime performance. Right, you got to back test, you got to practice and all that. So this is my checklist. Right, just look at all the data. Like you see, it's almost 300 pages of just experience, just notating, marking everything down, bro. Just learning, just recording data, just going. Okay, my fingers hurting. Just going. Let's go. Boom, boom. Data, data. Okay, hold on. Data. All right, let me do this. Boom. Data. Look at that. Data, 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 data. More data, more data. Screenshots, data. How I'm feeling, emotions, data. I started really writing more. A lot of these are screenshots at this point, but I started writing more. Look, I'm writing more now. Data, data, data. A lot of this is NAS 100 too. There's some other stuff in here. Data. We're in page 123, by the way. Data. We got about 100 some more pages to go. Data. Get more data. Look at that. Boom, 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 boom. This straight NAS now. Boom, 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 boom. I think it's NAS. Boom, boom, boom. Data. Give me data. Look at all this. Data. I need more data. Give me that 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 data. So let's see. Let me see, amigo. All right. This is crazy. Look at that. I just NAS 100 on the 1 minute. I really started just really working, trying to work and gather data. Look at that. Data. Just boom, data. Just freaking data, bro. Just data. Look at that. NAS 100, June 26th. The best just don't put work in during game time. They put more work in when nobody's watching. Athletes spend countless hours training off the field. Professional NASCAR driver. Boom, boom, boom. What was my mistake? Bomb. Right? Boom. Data. All this is just me learning NAS, bro. How does NAS move? What does NAS want? What is the temperament of NAS? Right? How NAS moves over time. All right, so going into market open, I was looking for price. I already sold off. Naturally, I was thinking buys, but when Donnie T started talking spicy about Iran and announced the U.S. had begun bombing operations, that changed everything. Instead of trying to catch the bounce, started watching for sales. From there, I just sat back and waited to see what the market's willing to give me. Bada boom, bada bang. Profits, right? So it's just really, bro, I think this is an L. Look at that big L. Later, I got another setup based on originality. March cute, profit early. See, I had the right decision, so I would have caught that L. Boom. This is 2H trade, 5 minutes. Boom, boom, boom. Data. And then we started getting into some of the summer, after the summer months. I think this is around where I started getting into somewhere down there. Okay. 90% let's go from the last 2 weeks, right? Why? The ones that went bad, serious bad treatment, right? So this is around the time NAS started moving different. So I'm like, okay, bet. Let me try to try to see what's going on, right? NAS started, like look at this, bro. Look at this, bro. You talking about piss, my dude? bruh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And then I actually waited for a pullback and I tried to get in and it said, doink, give me that money. Data, more data, more data, more data, more data, right? So it's been a long time coming. I've learned a lot about NAS. Um, I've did studying other people that only trade NAS. And I've took their data too. So this is what it is. I just really redefine NAS 100 based off data and based off experience. This right here is the way. Okay. I know that NAS will go one way and keep going, or it'll go that way and then it reverse. And if it comes back and stomps you out, then that's a no trade day. Okay. So all I'm waiting for price to get to my supply and demand zones, or like if we get to a trend line. Like say for example, if I wouldn't have traded that day and NAS would have got this trend line, and then it would give me an engulfing candle. I need an engulfing candle. Once they give me an engulfing candle, I'm not waiting on price to come back and tap me back in. I'm not doing that no more because NAS, as you will see, NAS does not pull back. NAS don't care. Like you expect, okay, indication correction continuation, right? We made a move. Let's see. Okay. Price is gonna pull back to the 50, 60. Nah, the hell with all that, bro. NAS don't care nothing about that. Know what NAS do? This is what NAS do. Look at this. That was the pullback, bro. A sideways consolidation. Two pullbacks. Pullback, pullback. NAS don't care. But what do I do see though? Is I do see, look at this. Every time we've gotten to this point right here, we've sold. The fact that we got to this point and this red candle just got engulfed, right? Look at this support. What I would have did? Boom. TP hit. So this is what I'm doing with NAS. Thank y'all for watching. Stay tuned next week for more videos. Really took the time to really do a deep dive and to get the data for y'all, so you all can trade NAS and get money.